Gemini, welcome to Cosmic Cassie. Welcome back if you are returning. This is going to be your September monthly reading. Gemini, this is going to be a reading focused on love and relationships. The finance and career is going to come out a little bit later in the month. Obviously, don't take anything if it doesn't resonate, Gemini. So if you have to force it and fit it and shove it into your life for it to make sense, it's probably not your reading. Go check out your sun, moon, rising signs, and you may have better luck there. With the rising sign, that is usually the most accurate reading that you will get when you go off of your rising sign. Reason being, it does not change position as often as the sun or the moon. So it's your long-term consistent energy that is a lot more solid, predictable, and accurate. Gemini, let's go ahead and jump into the reading here and see what we have coming in for you for September. Show me, what does Gemini need to know for September? And we are using oracle decks for this reading, Gemini, instead of the tarot. Okay, first one out is the tomb. Let's see if we can get 3 all together here. We have the tomb, we have protection. One more for Gemini. Show me one more for Gemini. One more for Gemini. Definitely a lot of heat energy here, Gemini, with the tomb and the protection. The tomb technically is not a fire energy, but I definitely get fire off of it. I also get some warrior battling, fighting kind of energy. The tomb is very protective, and then we actually have protection following it. And when I look at the protection, it definitely makes me feel like stake in the ground. You know, I protected something, I defended something, and I won. And then we have creation, also coming out with a little bit of that heat. With the creation card coming in after protection, it's almost like now that I can put a stake in the ground, I'm going to grow something different than a sword. I'm going to grow a tree instead of a sword. So instead of growing something that I have to constantly fight for, something that I'm constantly defending, something that is of like conflict, of battling, I'm going to grow something that I can climb, something that's going to take me higher, something that's going to be more creative, more aligned for me, something that's going to reach the stars, the sky, the moon. So Gemini, the month of September, I feel like we have established some really good goals here, high goals here is what it feels like. And in September, it's like we're finally recognizing, okay, I won, I went through it, and I was successful at protecting, at defending, at battling, whatever it was that you were going through, Gemini. There's a level of success here. And now that there's a level of success, now that there's a level of success, we have to know when to get out of the battle zone, when to stop being in warrior mode or survivor mode, something along those lines. It's time to transition out of that same energy that we used in order to win, and it's time to go on to something not more gentle. It still holds a lot of strength. The tree and the sword are similar in strength here, but they're different kinds of strengths. One will take you higher, and one can only keep you where you're at. So if this is about a person, Gemini, it does feel like either we were fighting for the relationship, or maybe we were fighting against this person and decided to end the relationship because there was so much fighting. Maybe you figured out how to actually stand up for yourself, or how to walk away, or how to set really healthy boundaries. There's something that you did here, Gemini, with this person that made you feel like it was a war, but that you won, that you actually were able to hold your ground, you got something really valuable out of it, and now it's time to stop fighting so much and build something different with the equal amount of strength. We have entanglement and awakening coming out here. So this definitely makes me feel, Gemini, with that snake wrapped around the moon here with entanglement, it feels like our intuition was being almost like stricken from us. It's like there was so much manipulation, there was so much confusion, there were so many I don't want to say outright lies, but it's almost like when you lie from a mission. It's like there was some kind of really tricky snake in the grass, like unseen kind of darker force messing with us. So this could be a person that knows how to manipulate us. They know how to get over on us. They know the right words to charm us back in. Either way, whatever this person was doing, it made us go against our intuition. Our intuition was already telling us what it was, who this person is, what the situation looked like. Our intuition never left us. It was always there. But somehow this person made it really difficult to listen and tap into that intuition. But after transitioning out of whatever you did with this person, again, whether it was defending and fighting for the relationship or defending and fighting for yourself and leaving the relationship here, whatever happened, Gemini, you came out of this entangled energy and you moved into this awakening energy, because now you see everything clearly. And I think this is why in September, those goals are going to be a lot easier to know what it is that you want, what direction you're trying to head in, what you need to do to get there. It's like we can really create a solid foundation to start growing towards those goals that we have. And it's all because we finally have that clarity. We finally have clear vision with whatever this person was doing, who they really were. Again, that knowledge was always there for you, but something was like blocking it. Something was really restricting and manipulating the energy so that you couldn't even use that intuition and rely on it here. What is Gemini's advice on how to move through the month of September? What is Gemini's advice? I don't want 50 cards. What is Gemini's advice on how to move through the month of September? How should Gemini move through September? Okay. For moving through September, we have the Necropolis and we have love. Gemini, in September, it's really important that you kind of, I don't think I've ever caught myself saying this before, but this is the energy that I get with it. And I do read energetically and psychically and through mediumship. And I've never gotten a message like this, but it's like, it's time for you to abandon love. In this situation, it's time for you to abandon love. The Necropolis is something that was once beautiful, that kind of, it's not that it was destroyed. It's not the same as a tower per se. This energy feels like it was once this beautiful safe haven of a relationship. You might have been extremely happy, Gemini. It might have been your dreams coming true. Your wishes were in front of you. You saw them happening. This person was absolutely amazing. But over time, it's almost like there wasn't healthy communication. There wasn't healthy boundaries. There was a lack of care. There were all these issues that you never knew would surround this relationship because it started off in such a beautiful place. But when you don't tend to beautiful things, they become overgrown. They become desecrated is what I'm hearing. So it's quite literally like the relationship became desecrated because whether it's on your end or their end, or maybe it was both of you, there wasn't a healthy level of work going into the relationship and effort, and healthy effort and work here, because this is very much like it was once a dreamy haven place, but then suddenly it's got cobwebs everywhere and the floor is covered in leaves and branches and the roots are overgrown and the vines are taking over. It's like the sanctuary is no longer a sanctuary. The sanctuary is now a trap. It became a cage. And with it being paired with love, it's not saying abandon all love, but it's saying that it's time to look at and reflect on the love that you had, but also realizing that that's no longer the same love that's here anymore. So even though you might have walked away from the relationship, which I definitely get heavy vibes for that, Gemini, even though you might have walked away, you might have stood your ground, you won this battle, right? You finally won the war, you're moving in a new direction. There is a part of you that I believe is still trying to process and understand what happened to the love you guys once shared. Give me 1 second, Gemini, I dropped a card. Oh, I had to really reach for that one. Excuse me. And the card that came out is the Aristocrat. The Aristocrat... Excuse me. The Aristocrat is someone who's really intelligent, they're wise. They observe and they watch what's happening. They're not someone who will blurt it out, but that's why there's that out energy on there. Because the aristocrat is really intelligent, okay? They're like the silent power. And it's time for you to tap into your aristocrat energy, Gemini. It doesn't need to be talked about. It doesn't need to be vented. You don't need the opinion of anyone else. There's nothing that needs to be shared here. And it's all about you very clearly. I get like Queen of Swords, King of Swords energy here. You need to very clearly look at the truth, the reality, what's in front of you, and not get lost in this, like, it's not even a fantasy because it was once real. With the necropolis, like, that was once real, that existed for you, and it was a beautiful place, but it's time to look at it in a very surreal way and see clearly that it's no longer that beautiful place, and trying to tend to that place by yourself, trying to fix the relationship by yourself will never work. You will always be doing the work because the other person has to show up and do the work with you. Gemini, do keep in mind that roles can be reversed here, okay? So it's not that love is lost, but in this situation with this person, this moment, it's time to just see it for what it is and realize that, like, yeah, what we had was beautiful and it went downhill, and now I can't roll us back up the hill by myself. And so it's time to kind of just, leave it where it's at. I don't think I have any other messages for you guys, Gemini. Again, if that finance and career reading is going to be later in the month. And then in the description box below is my personal link to my website where you can get a reading if you want one. Otherwise, Gemini, I wish you the best of luck. September is going to hold a lot of empowerment for you. There's going to be a lot of strength and willpower to really move beyond the situation. But it's okay to kind of like reflect on where your heart space is, not to get lost in it and not to have it overcome you. But it's really okay to reflect on where it's at and recognize you don't have to deny that there was something beautiful there. You don't have to reject it. It doesn't have to be 100% terrible and awful and bad. Sometimes beautiful things go bad, and that doesn't mean that it wasn't ever beautiful. It just means it went bad, okay? All right, Gemini, that's all that I have for you. I will see you guys later this month, as well as for the full moon and new moon readings. Thanks, Gemini. Bye.